The fight between China and the United States is only intensifying. The presidential election is barely weeks away, and that has not stopped the Trump administration from taking on China. Perhaps the election is the reason why Trump is going after China so strongly. Well, whatever be the reason, the relationship is going downhill. The latest point of contention is Tibet. The United States has appointed a Tibet coordinator, a senior human rights official. What will he do? Promote a dialogue between the Dalai Lama and China. This post is not new, but it's been lying vacant since Trump came to power. Now, in the thick of the election, he has filled the vacancy. The message is quite clear. America does not want to leave any opportunity to pull China down. Robert Destro, the Assistant Secretary of State for Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, will take this job. The announcement comes right after China's re-election to the UN Human Rights Council, a council that America, by the way, left 2 years ago. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo briefed the press yesterday, and he used the opportunity to once again criticize China on its human rights violations.
Whether it's at Xinjiang, what's taking place there, whether it's Tibet, we talked about that a little bit here this morning, whether that's in Inner Mongolia and the Inner Mongolians' simple desire to live in freedom and exercise their own understandings of what freedom and human dignity look like. In each of those places, not had Hong Kong, in each of those places, we simply are demanding of the Chinese Communist Party what we ask of every nation, is to preserve basic freedoms, human dignity, religious freedom for every one of their citizens.
Clearly, the United States wanted to make a statement. They wanted to highlight China's persecution of minorities on a day when China was re-elected to the Human Rights Council, and that's what they did. So what will America's new appointee do? What did his predecessors do? Beijing has never dealt with a special coordinator for Tibet, and it won't deal with this one either. China criticized this appointment and said that America is meddling in its internal affairs.
The establishment of the so-called Special Coordinator for Tibetan Issues by the US is totally out of political manipulation and aiming to interfere in China's internal matters and undermine the development and stability of Tibet. China always firmly opposed it and has never recognized it.
Such statements may not make any difference to America's approach. Earlier this month, the United States, alongside 39 other countries, raised China's rights violations at the United Nations. A joint statement was presented to the General Assembly. It demanded that independent observers, including the United Nations Human Rights Chief, should have unfettered access to Xinjiang, the province where more than 1 million Muslims are facing persecution. Last month, Mike Pompeo led a campaign to the Vatican. He urged the Pope to condemn China's human rights abuses. He was denied a meeting with the Pope, but Pompeo did communicate his stand to the Vatican's top officials. In the month of July, the U.S. State Department barred Chinese officials who restrict access to Tibet. Chinese authorities who have restricted journalists, tourists, diplomats, or American officials will not be able to get a U.S. visa now. The United States has taken a tough stand against China on the issue of human rights. What it needs is global consensus and the support, at least, of the Quad, countries like Australia, Japan, and India. They must join hands to counter China on its human rights record. Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.